Last year with Twitter, with the Twestival. I'm going to just use some examples we've seen really social media for social good being used. It started with them using Twitter to raise $250,000 for a charity called Charity Water, which has really built their presence online. Ashton Kutcher then came up, he's a little name in the industry, with his 1 million followers for $1 million, well, not $1 million. He said he would donate 1,000 nets to malaria for no more. Hugh Jackman then came up, giving $100,000 to a charity via Twitter. Then we had a guy that no one knew, Drew Olenoff, who created Blame Drew's Cancer, hooked up with Lance Armstrong and Drew Carey to put out, donate the first Twitter name, and the money went to the foundation. We've also seen these connected platforms. Through these platforms, you don't need to be a big personality or a company to create a movement. It's really about word of mouth, and while some of these people are connected to big companies here today and platforms, it's everyone that counts in spreading the word to create social change. And I'll introduce myself at this point. I'm Cheryl Lazar. I work with CBSNews.com. I cover social trends and pop culture. I also do all the online videos for Live Earth currently, and I created a little fun video, tried to use my platform for social change called I'm a Geek. I hooked up with Room to Read, and we raised money for them and bringing together the geek community. So for me, I cover a lot of things in media, but I try to use my platform to reach people in a positive way, and I look at that, it's a huge responsibility if you have a platform to do that. So thanks so much for being here today. And on the panel, we have some great people. We have Barb, who is the senior editor at Mashable. We have Megan, who's the founder of Spirit Jump. We have Judy Chang, PayPal's principal product manager for nonprofits. We have Ryan Sergitz, who's the president of CauseCast. And of course, last but not least, Chris Noble, CEO of Cause Media Group. So great people here today who all have different insights into this industry and the cause movement. So first off, I want to ask everyone, because you're all part of different spaces in a way in the cause industry, what tools do you see out there that can help people get the word out there in charities? Like, what tools are you seeing people using right now, besides, the obvious?
Besides the obvious. Well, definitely, yeah.
And how are they using, now, I want to know your gut, but how are people, right, you hear people using Facebook, Twitter, but how exactly, what are the steps people need to take to get the word out there if you're a charity or an individual who wants to make a difference?
I think you have to come up with a good idea, and I think creativity is really sort of the #1 thing that you can strive for. Definitely look out there, research what other campaigns have done, look at what successful campaigns have done, what tools that they've used, but don't be a copy cutter, don't just adopt somebody else's campaign. Be creative with it. I think those are some of the most successful campaigns that we've seen, are things that are very unique. The Uniform Project was a woman who was a fashion student and wanted to help poor students in India to get uniforms and get educational supplies. And she had a set of 7 identical dresses that she just accessorized in different ways every day for an entire year, and took a photo of that on her website. So she was taking her own sort of creative talent and then applying it to a cause that she cared about. And it was something unique, something that we hadn't seen before. And I think that's where you start to see campaigns that really resonate with people.
This is fun, you're passing on the mic.
I found, being a nonprofit, starting from nowhere, just a group of people trying to be creative. I think that's #1, being creative. Not to steal what you said, but it was great. And I think it's really important to be engaging. So you can use all the obvious, the Facebook, the Twitter, the MySpace, but it's not just that you're using it, you have to use it to engage your supporters. They're out there, they want to be a part of something. It's their movements, because it's a group of people doing something together. And if you just are talking at people, telling them what to do, that's not going to work. But if you're asking people to participate and to be a part of the movement and be a part of something that's meaningful, that's when it's really going to start to grow on your Facebook, on your Twitter, whatever platform you use. So I think engaging and listening and involving people is really, really important. They're out there, they want to be a part of something, you've got to give them that opportunity.
So I would say that having that conversation through the social media platforms is what makes it different than just using it as a one-way marketing platform. And particularly if you've seen the PayPal Twitter handle, you've seen a number of customer complaints come through there, people who have problems with their accounts. So that's definitely part of what you're opening yourself up to, right? As any organization who's going to be on those platforms will find. So being able to have somebody respond to those comments, as well as then communicate out new things that people would be interested in learning. So for instance, when the Haiti disaster hit, the social media with Twitter was an effective way for us to just blast out to people that PayPal's waiving fees for charities for 30 days. If you're supporting Haiti, email us at this address, we'll qualify you and you'll get a waiver. We couldn't have put together an email that quickly. We couldn't have put up banner ads that quickly, but right away we would be able to get that message out onto all our followers and use our blog and have people retweet and spread that for us. So it was a great way for us to see that the communication could benefit our customers as well.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody here has already said. But also, I'd like to emphasize that individuals really are looking to, as you said, be a part of something, and they're really looking to find other people that are like-minded, and for whatever reason, they're able to identify with that cause or there's something about it, because from a content perspective, it becomes important from the storyteller and why people are getting involved in what they're doing. And it's been interesting based on when you go on these platforms now, and what's an interesting phenomena with these platforms is everyone's throwing stuff out, right? So we got this mass glut of information that's just getting thrown out there. So all of a sudden, like, there's all these cause initiatives, there's a lot to choose from. So how do you define what specifically that message is like to be able to get a few people to start to build something around with their individuals and then kind of start that movement going? So how do you tell that story in a way that it's not just bursts of information, but really engaging people? I think for them to learn a little bit more of what they feel is a part of something bigger than themselves. And I think that's when you're going to start to see people that come to, which was Charity Water, which had a really unique way of marketing themselves when they started a few years ago. They were very different than any other charity in terms of their branding. And then people felt a part of that, and they felt a part of the water movement. Not because specifically it was water, but because they really did a great job of making people feel a part of something, and then using the platforms to convey that.
Can you repeat the question, please?
And moving on.
So I think that the most remarkable thing is that even though, along with what everybody said, the ability for a nonprofit to get to their niche faster and via social media is, I think, the most stunning thing, right? You don't need hundreds of thousands of people to launch a new nonprofit. You need hundreds and maybe thousands, and that's enough of a base to get going and build your audience and do something. But in terms of what I think is not obvious, people are doing with email, right? So just if you look at the tools that are available, Twitter is great. It's a great tool for broadcasting and engaging. Facebook is a great tool for rapidly sharing across an existing user base. But in terms of getting started and finding your audience as a nonprofit, start with your existing email list, whether it's just your friends or your family members, or whether you're already up and running and you've got a little bit of a database. There are tools now available like Flowtown, which is Flowtown. I don't get a kickback, though I should. And that's a tool very easy to use. You run your email through it, and it comes back with a list of who your contacts are in social media. So you run your email through it, and it comes back and says, oh, Chris Noble, that email address is also this ID on Facebook. It's also this ID on Twitter. And that way you can not just identify your core by doing a Twitter search, you can identify your core supporters with a real tool that actually takes their email and translates it to their social media. That's Flowtown, FLOWTOWN.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That was great. I was like, thank you.